Greetings and welcome. Now you can actually download the entire course free if you act now. What is here that I have uploaded on YouTube is only the first 30 minutes, but you can download the entire course, which is well over 1 hour and 15 minutes. And it's a very detailed course. The more you get into it, the more I reveal. So download this course free. You just go to the description or the comment section and click on the link, and you will be able to download and claim this course, yours 100% absolutely free if you act now. So go and do that now.
Welcome to the Principles of Real Magic. So in this course, in this audio course, I'm going to give you the principles that you really need to master, you need to hone down on, and also use as a reference point to gauge where you are, how much progress you're making, and where you want to be in magic, and in your life as well in general. So I'm going to go over things that we have discussed and learnt in my other courses in a condensed form, and then I will detail and elaborate some points that maybe are not in the courses that you could glean in this audio, and hopefully it will be a great help to you in your magical practice and in your life as well. So the first step is to purify yourself daily and weekly and monthly, but you don't have to go overboard. Purification we already do naturally in the cleansing process. Every time we go to the toilet, it's a form of bodily purification. But we can increase it as a spiritual practice, for example, by condensing our negative thoughts, negative energies, things that bother us, and imagining it going into, let's use the word excrement, and pushing it out. And then as you flush the toilet, it's gone. It is a form of cleansing. Also, when you have a shower or a bath, you're cleansing, and you can add salts, you can add herbs for specific effects. But it also helps you relax and cleanse your mind and relax your muscles, and it's a form of cleansing. So through the physical processes, you are purifying and cleansing. But it's important to do so, spiritually speaking. Now you have to remember, or you have to realize, it depends if you've never heard this before, but we are not humans having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that is what we're doing here on earth. So getting back and getting in touch with our inner selves is very, very important. To get in touch with who we really are, what we really are, spiritual beings. And so these steps will help remind you that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And it's very important to do the best we can in this human experience, because whether we were tricked into this human experience, in a sense we weren't, because there needed a certain amount of agreement from us to come here. So we are on a contract, so to speak. And I elaborate this in my other courses a little bit more. But purification is very important, and something you have to do. That when you cleanse yourself physically, you're also reminding yourself to cleanse yourself and purify yourself spiritually by getting rid of the negativity, by blessing a glass of water and drinking it, by putting your hand over a glass of water, connecting with the source of all, and then infusing that water with
a word that connects to a certain quality or desired effect, a trigger word even that maybe you have been using for quite some time for a specific effect. And you infuse the water with feeling, with emotion, knowing that you are putting power and that quality into the water, so that when you drink that water, all the molecules of the water have crystallized into that aspired effect, that magical effect. That's very important. So think of ways that you can purify yourself. And naturally, go through my courses. There's a lot there, and you can add your own as well, as long as you're not bringing in things from other mystical orders or kind of magical enchantments or whatever. You don't want to be mixing these things, because I'm going to say it, a lot of these things from different mystical orders or even magical societies, groups, are connected with egregores, and it will hold you back. It actually won't benefit you in the long run. You may feel it does, but it actually doesn't, because it's like a sugar addiction. It has that effect where you think it's good, it tastes wonderful, but it's actually damaging in the long run for your development. I have no qualms in saying that, because for a long time, many years, I was in the magical order of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the New Zealand variant, more or less. But I connected with other groups as well. And one of my early teachers was in the original orders, connected with the Golden Dawn order in New Zealand. But I was not initiated into that particular order. Later I was elsewhere in an American version. But I went quite far in the group. I got into high depth level. And then I realized through doing my familial line magic and then coming here to Japan and starting over 32 years ago, I saw when the veil was lifted, when I did magic, real magic, I could say it's real magic here, the difference, and all these kind of spider web connections that were kind of holding me back in those magical orders of the past. So anyway, that's what I'm going to tell you. Now, do with it what you will. But anyway, it's very important to purify yourself, if not daily, then weekly. Do the cold showers if you can, but of course if you're in a winter climate or you're not feeling well, then substitute it with something else. And it's very important also to give yourself rest, time away from magic sometimes, or at least once a month, where you're not doing so many rituals, or you just give yourself a break for a couple of days just to recover, because you can experience burnout with anything, right, if you're overdoing it. And in this very busy, fast-paced lifestyle, excuse me, got a bit of a cough, busy, fast-paced lifestyle, as I was saying, sometimes you need to catch up with the ordinary things of like spending more time with friends and family. That's very beneficial. But purify yourself physically, magically, spiritually, with a lot of these principles and techniques. Do meditation as well. Meditation where you're thinking of nothing, and if a thought comes into your mind, let it come in, and when you realize it's there, dissolve it and come back and calm yourself. Try to calm yourself, okay? It's very important. That's a way of stilling the mind and purifying. Raise your power. Raise your power physically by incorporating things like more herbs, like ginger. Fatty meat is okay. People say fatty meat is bad. No, fatty meat is not bad. Eating too much of anything is very bad, but the bad thing is sugar. If you eat fatty meat and sugar, then the sugar is going to push, unfortunately, that fat right into your muscles and around your organs, instead of into your bloodstream, instead of raising your hormone levels. So try to cut down or reduce or eliminate sugars. Sugars are the problem in magic. Some people say you should abstain from meat to reach high spiritual or magical levels. It's not true. It's not true. A lot of the shamans, a lot of the high adepts I've met all over the world do eat various forms of meat because the body needs it. But it's clean meat, and it's a balanced portion. It's not out of, it's not like eating like a glutton and stuffing yourself. Sugar is the real problem. Fluoride is the real problem. Chemicals are the real problems that will hold you back. And also being brainwashed with TV and the internet media, multimedia things, that is the problem. And also being around toxic people and the workplace where you get all these pressures and undesirable kind of like experiences over and over again. That's the problem. That's why it's good also to do retreats in nature, but be safe where you go. Naturally take precautions. You don't want to get lost and then fall off a cliff or something, or get stuck on a mountain overnight, and don't do something silly like that. That's all I'm trying to say. I have to say it. So some people might say, well, but that's common sense. Well, a lot of people, unfortunately, forget to implement common sense when they make decisions or do things. So I have to say it, right? So that's important. Eat healthy eggs, organic eggs, good butter, organic butter, although unfortunately organic in America is not very clean. In Europe it is, in America it's not. So try to get the healthiest versions of these things. I'm trying to think of I just forgot what it was called. Damn it. A Japanese vegetable. Just give me a second while I try to remember. Okay, I remember now. It's okura. Okura, O-K-U-R-A. It's a green kind of vegetable, kind of like, looks like a bean, but when you cut it, it's kind of sticky, and it looks like it's got sticky filaments coming from it. But that's very good for you. That's very good for the magician. Spinach is good. Kale is good. Chamomile tea is good. Try and reduce your coffee intake. I know in the morning, even I kind of need it sometimes, but try and reduce it, if not eliminate it. Try and reduce those things because it does affect your stomach as well. The main thing also in purification and raising your power is to try to heal your stomach, because your stomach affects everything, your brain, everything you do. And if you have not enough acid for digestion, start using apple cider in the morning. Okay, now some people might say, I have heartburn, I've got too much acid. It's probably the other way around. It's probably you got acid reflux because your stomach is unable actually to digest the food. So you got a lot of food stuck in your stomach, and a lot of liquid is building up in your stomach and trying to dissolve the food, and then one of the valves between your stomach and where the food comes in is weak, and then those acids are coming up and giving you acid reflux. But it's actually, the problem is you're not having enough stomach acid. Stay away from antacids. Stay away from acid reflux medication, because you'll be dependent on it and it's hard to get off, and then your stomach won't work properly. So things like apple cider vinegar in the morning, chamomile tea as well, ginger, start incorporating that with honey as well into your morning drinks. That has a lot to do with helping you raise your power. Then raising your power in other ways magically is, like I've already listed in my courses, do the spiritual exercises where you connect with the source of all, bring down the energy, circulate that energy, do your breathing. Okay, try to project your magical energy with intent, kind of to fill your room with a desired effect. Okay, and keep drawing down these magical energies within you and circulating that energy. I've explained that in my courses. It's in the 1-year course as well. But it's important to keep raising your power that way. Cold showers in the morning, these all affect you physically, but because they affect you physically, they also affect you psychically, because they open the centers in your body, they make your body stronger, and then through that in time you'll be able to circulate more current as you draw down these spiritual energies. And as you age, it doesn't matter, because when the body then does get weaker, you've already developed the pathway, the circuitry, okay? Whereas the problem with a lot of westernized magic, or modern magic even in the East, is they don't build up or raise their power that way. They don't do anything, and they get very unhealthy, and they're not building these connections, the psychic connections through, let's call them chakras, your energy centers, so they are able to channel stronger, more powerful currents of energy. They're not doing that. So then when they age, they lose their magical power. You can just have a look at the books and see all these kind of Western magicians. They start off pretty powerful. When they're old, they're pretty useless. They can't do a damn thing. And also these magical orders are not really building their magical energies or spiritual energies. They're just doing formulas and things like that have a certain effect. But these effects are within the archontic universe, and they remain under the control of the archons. So they're not really breaking free from anything, and they're not becoming amazing magicians or spiritual giants, so to speak, which you want to aspire. They're not attaining their place, their rightful place as free spiritual beings. Like I said before, we are not humans having a spiritual experience. These magical orders are kind of doing things from the principle, or if you look at the methods and techniques, as they are humans trying to have spiritual and magical experiences, whereas in fact we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we want to roll back that human physical veil and amplify and build up and acknowledge ourselves as true spiritual beings and connect with the source of all directly. Okay, so that's what you want to be doing. Now when you're doing any magical principle, magical ritual, anything magical, you always have to have a clear intent. You have to have a clear intent for safety reasons, as well as for making sure it's effective. Because if you don't have a clear intent and your mind is fuzzy and scattered and undisciplined, you can actually be quite harmful to those around you. You know, when you have an argument with your spouse or loved one or friend, as a magician, your intent of hate or whatever can also be a magical act that can hurt. And then you'll regret that in the long run, because the hurt that you do to that person magically is actually an unfair attack. Because even if you've had an argument, whatever, they're not really attacking you at a spiritual or magical level, usually. Sometimes they do by accident, or if they're a magical friend, they may be doing that to you. But then you'll incur that kind of wrath, you could say, from their spiritual guardians or themselves when they wake up and they realize that you're the cause of hurting them. And then you're in a bit of a fight, aren't you? So you don't really want that. You want to create harmony by purifying yourself, raising your magical power, and at all times have a clear intent with what you're doing with magic. Now when you're having an argument, you've got to tell yourself, look, I'm not happy with that person, I'm quite angry, but I don't want to hurt them magically or spiritually, so I will not. That will not happen. Okay? That actually prevents your subconscious mind from unleashing your spiritual and magical power without you truly intending to hurt someone. Otherwise your subconscious mind will just act like that. And that's how magic works as well. Your subconscious brings things to you. but you don't want these things in terms of harming people you don't want to harm, etc. So always create a clear intent, whether you want to achieve something magically, or even after having an argument, have a clear intent so you instruct yourself and your subconscious mind to restrain. Okay, that's also very important. In order to achieve a lot of things in your life or at a spiritual level, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes. Now, I outline this secret method, which is actually very simple, which I didn't create it. It's been in the magical kind of like, what do you call it? What is the right word for it? Magical know-how in the East and certain parts of the West for a long, long time. And I taught it in my wealth making course, that you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve it. Doesn't mean you have to do it necessarily, but if it does come up that you have to do it, you have to be willing. So if you go through your checklist, let's say you want something, and the checklist might show you, when you think about it, that in order to actually attain it, you may have to move city, and you think, no, I don't want to do that, then boom, it's not going to happen. So by checking what you want, or the desired effect that you are trying to attain, and then making a checklist of all the things that maybe you need to do physically and magically in order to achieve it, you'll understand whether it's actually worth going for or not. Because if you're not willing to do it, you got to be honest with yourself, then you're wasting your time chasing to get that thing that you think you want, but you're really not invested in doing whatever it takes. The doing whatever it takes, hopefully it's not something negative like hurting someone, because if you're the kind of person that wants to get something and you're willing to kill someone or hurt someone, then you're a bit sick in the head, aren't you? And there will be consequences against you severely, not just in this incarnation, but when you dissolve this incarnation and your true spiritual self comes out, you're going to get hammered. So you don't want to do that, okay? You don't want to do that at all. But I have to say that, right? I have to say at this point and stage, I've received a lot of correspondence, and a lot of times I see that people are just not getting things, or they have to be told things which are pretty obvious. So I'm not patronizing you per se, but I have to say it because a lot of people that have subscribed are going to be listening to this, and it may help them in some way. Always invoke also as well. The next step is invoke things that you want. Invoke especially the energies that you want to bring into your life, the energies of protection, the energies of health, the energies of success. You have to invoke that every morning. So if you want to be more successful or something in the morning if you have time, or in the evening if you have time, better in the morning, but excuse me, depending on type of work you do, maybe it's the evening that you have time. Invoke those things. So you would say, I invoke the energies of success, and then you might make your own prayer. The prayer is actually just there as like a magical spell to help your subconscious mind connect with your spiritual energetic centers in your body, and then the actual psychic centers that are not in your body but they're there, to connect with the source of oil and ask for that particular current to be drawn in you, and then you circulate that power within you, okay, in your hara. I explain what the hara is. Between the solar plexus, the navel, and your pubic bone, about 2 inches inside your body, right? And you kind of build it up as like a tennis ball size energy sphere of power. And then from there you expand it out around you, and you fill the room or your town, your city, depending how good you are with magic at that point. The more you practice, the better you get. And then you can infuse like a stone or water, like I said before, with that, pardon me, I'm burping now, with that desired effect, like protection. And you may bury these around your house, and that will carry the protective current and infect's not the right word, but spread the energy around, so even the trees around your house understand that they have to form a protective barrier for you, or to bring happiness. So then even the trees will try and channel down these things. But if you're specifically putting these stones in the roots of the tree, then try to connect with the tree by giving the tree a bit of an offering, and ask them for help, and tell them that you're there, to work with them in a friendly way. Because if you've moved into an environment and those trees have a specific spirit in them, a lot of trees do, and some of them may not be benevolent spirits, then you have to understand what you're dealing with, right? Okay, so, and then keep stacking. So make a list, stack, purify. How are you going to purify? Raise your power. What are you going to do to raise your power? What is the intent for today or this week? Okay, go through your list. Are you willing to do whatever it takes? If you have a desired, you're aspiring to reach a certain goal or attain a certain thing, make sure you make a list. Are you willing to do whatever it takes? If not, then change your aim, change your goal, change what you are after. Then invoke these energies, like I said before, and stack everything up. Stack everything up, okay? Use practical means to amplify so that your magic has something to latch onto. This is the reason why this course is a little bit delayed, because I got a bit of a cough. Just a little bug that's going around everywhere. Nothing major, but it's just like keeps tickling. It's a tickly kind of thing. And apart from that, I'm perfectly fine. So it did affect my voice for quite a while, though, because as you cough, then your voice gets hoarse. So anyway, your magic works better if you can do something or recognize a physical action that will help you attain that thing that you're after, and then use your magic to complement that action. Then your magic has something to really latch onto, and the chances of success are much, much higher. Now, why doesn't magic work all the time? Well, magic does go into work, it does go into effect, but it's like anything. You are like in a fight with other people's also magical will and desires, and if their collective energy is stronger than yours, it's like two waves clashing. The bigger wave is gonna win out, okay? Or it's like you're arm wrestling with someone that has a stronger power at that point. You just have to be realistic, and that's why you must always work on raising your power, so then you can attain. The other reasons you may not get what you are after all the time, and it doesn't work all the time, is because also you do have an inner compass. Like I said, you are spiritual beings having a human experience. So the inner you, the higher you, will sometimes says, no, if you get that, I know what's going to happen. If you get that, I know what's going to happen. It's going to be very detrimental at this time, so it may actually stop you, and you may think, damn, I'm in a very hard period of my life, but they actually could have saved you from disaster.
So that's another reason why Magick doesn't always work for you when you feel you need it. But it doesn't mean you have to stop. You can try again later, and later on you may actually realize that, oh, it was a good thing. Now, the more you do Magick in a sincere way and try to raise your power and do kind of meditations, create a clear intent with what you want, and then you start actually feeding in, because you're locked into the energy with the source of all, it's channeling, and you'll become more sensitive to things around you. Sensitive not in a negative way, but sensitive in a way that you'll start to understand why something is not working, or you'll be able to understand, no, that's not the right time, or that is the right time, because you're kind of like able to read the energy of anyone and anything. Okay, and that is a big help. A lot of people don't understand that. So use practical means to amplify your results and have your Magick latch onto that so it can bring you that result faster. Now, if you want to find more or less your skills, your talents physically in this incarnation, have a look at your astrological birth chart and find the influence of Mars and Venus and combine them based on your astrological chart. You may do this online, have a look, or you may ask me to do it, but if you ask me to do it, I'm going to charge you for my time. Probably not much, probably maybe $15 to do your astrological chart, and then find out what Mars and Venus have in store for you in terms of your natural skills and talents. So find your purpose, and from that purpose you can lay out your path. It is easier to do that if you have that.
Greetings. Now you can actually download this entire course, the complete course, 100% free if you act now. Just go to the description or the comments and click on the link, and you can download this absolutely free. So go and do that now.